Okay, so we've been doing a lot of talking about linear equations, and now we need to talk about some linear inequalities. And remember the inequalities from the beginning of the year where we would shade left and right and do open circles and closed circles? Well, now we're going to talk about linear inequalities where we actually graph lines, and the lines are solid or dotted. And we shade above the line or below the line, because remember, anything in the shaded area is a solution. And so I have the inequality here, 2x plus 3y is less than 3. And we're going to graph it. And to help you graph it, I've made a little table for you to fill out. And we're going to do that by graphing each inequality on the calculator and then using the graph trace feature that will allow us to fill in the table. So let's go to our calculator, and we're going to get a graph page and delete the equal sign and pick a relation. And here we can type in that inequality for number 1. So I'm going to type this inequality in, 2x plus 3y. And the inequality symbols are, if you press Control equal, you'll get all of your inequality symbols, and you just scroll to which one you want, is less than 3. And we're going to shade it, or push enter. Now, if you scroll over to the line, you can see that it's a dotted line, and then we shaded underneath the line. And in order to fill in that table so I can plot points, I don't want to just sketch the line, I want to plot the points. We're going to press menu 5, 1, and we're going to type in the number we need. So the first number on the table is -6, and we push enter, and it tells us the answer is 5. And then if we type in -3, enter, it will tell us +3. 0, enter, and I'm just typing those numbers. I get 0, 1. 3 goes to -1. And then 6 goes to -3. So now I can plot these points. -6, so x first, so -6, +5. -3, +3, 0, 1, 3, -1, and 6, -3. Okay? So what we're going to do here is figure out the y-intercept. The y-intercept was given to us right there at 0, 1. What kind of line do we have here? And so we remember, if we hover over the line, it will show you that it's a dotted line, which means that I don't connect the points exactly. But I do put arrows at the end because my line goes on forever, even though we don't graph it forever. And then we shade. And so you can take your highlighter and shade in the same spots. We still need to be able to see the graph because we're going to plot some points. So it's shaded down below. Okay? So my line is dotted, and I'm shaded below the line. Okay? Now it asked about my slope here. If I press menu 6, 5, and I hover over my line, it still tells me my slope is -0.6 repeating. 0.6 repeating is a famous decimal that you need to remember is -2/3. Okay? Or you can go change it on a calculator page. But right now, we're going to look at these points, and we're going to plot them and see if they're solutions. So is 0, 1 a solution to this inequality? And so here is 0, 1. That's the y-intercept. And my answer is no. So what we need to talk about is, where are solutions? Solutions are in the shaded area or on a solid line. Okay? So I'm going to come down here onto the side, and we're going to write that out. Solutions are in the shaded area or on a solid line. Okay. So here, this is on a dotted line. So my answer is no, that is not a solution because it is on a dotted line. Okay. What about 2, 3? So if I plot 2, 3, that's right here. And that answer would also be no because it is not in the shaded area. All right, number 2. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our calculator to graph it. And so Control Doc, add a new graph page, delete the equal sign, and pick a relation. And then we're going to type in x plus y, control equal, will give you your inequality symbol is greater than or equal to 4. Okay, so let's go through here. If I hover over the line, I can see that this time my line is solid and I'm shaded above the line. So I'm going to fill that information in. The line is solid and it's shaded above. If my line is solid, that means that solutions can be on the line. So solid solutions to help you remember. Okay, dotted lines don't count is what I always say, but solid solutions. And so in order to fill in our table, remember we're going to press menu 5, 1, and we're going to type in the number we want, which is -1, and press enter, and it tells us 5. And then type in 0, enter, and it tells us 4. 2, enter, is 2. 3, enter, is 1. And 5, enter, is -1. Now I'm going to plot those points, -1, 5, 0, 4, 2, 2, 3, 1, and 5, -1. And it's a solid line, so that means I just connect them like I normally would. And my y-intercept is 0, 4. I can find my slope by pressing menu 6, 5. And I hover over the line and it tells me my slope is -1. And now I'm going to shade, and it was shaded above. And let's see if we can find some solutions. Is 2, 5 a solution? 2, 5, and yes, because it's in the shaded area. Okay, and 1, 2, is 1, 2 a solution? And no, it is not in the shaded area. All right, let's keep going. Number 3. Let's go graph it. Control Doc, add a new graph page, delete your equal sign, pick a relation, and we're going to type in x minus 4y. Control equal gives you your inequality is greater than or equal to 8. Again, if we hover over the line, we can see that it is solid, shaded below. And then menu 5, 1 to get your points. And my points at -4 is -3. At 0, it is -2. And at 4, it is -1. So my line is solid, I'm shaded below the line. My y-intercept is right here, 0, -2. And I can find my slope by pressing menu, 6, 5. If I hover over the line, it tells me my slope is 0.25, which is a quarter, and that would be 1/4 as a fraction. So let's plot these points. -4, -3, 0, -2, and 4, -1. And my line is solid, so I just connect them. Keep going though and put arrows on the end. And then we're shading below the line. So is 4, -1 a solution? 4, -1, that's one of the points I plotted and it's on the line. But remember, solid lines are solutions. Solid solutions. So yes, it's a solution because, and I'm going to abbreviate because like that, it is on a solid line. Okay. Then we're going to look at 0, 0. And hopefully you would say no, it is not in the shaded area. All right, we got 2 more. So I am going to press Control-Doc, get a new graph page, delete the equal sign, pick a relation, and let's type it in. 4x minus 3y, control equal is less than -12. Okay, again, you need to hover over that line so you can see if it's solid or dotted. Here my line is dotted, and I'm shaded above the line. And so menu, 5, 1, let's get our points. 0 goes to 4. -3 goes to 0. And -6 goes to -4. Okay, my slope would be menu 6, 5, and I hover over that line. It tells me 1.3 repeating. If I go to a calculator page and I put 1 point on a whole bunch of 3's, right? Remember, you have to go at least halfway through. Menu 2, 2 gives me 4/3. So my slope is 4/3. My y-intercept is right here, 0, 4. And let's plot the points. 0, 4. -3, 0, that's also a special point, right? Isn't that your x-intercept or your 0? And then -6, -4. And it was a dotted line, so make sure that when you graph it, you give it a dotted line. Put arrows on the end though, it still goes on forever. And it said we were shaded above, so that's all of this up here. Is -3, 0 a solution? Well, -3, 0 is your x-intercept, and it falls on the dotted line, and dotted lines don't count. So no, because it is on a dotted line. And -5, +3, which is right here. Yes, because it is in the shaded area. Number 5, again, Control-Doc, get a new graph page. Pick a relation. 2x minus 3y is greater than 3. And so again, hover over the line. Use your little keypad. Hover over the line. It's a dotted line. This one's shaded below the line. my y-intercept. So let's fill in these points so we can figure out our y-intercept. Menu 5, 1. And we want -6, which gives us -5. We want -3, which is -3. 0 is -1. 3 is +1. And 6 is +3. Okay, let's plot these. -6, -5, -3, -3, 0, -1, 3, 1, and 6, 1, 2, 3. And this line was also dotted, so, or dashed, however you want to look at it. Put arrows on the end. Okay, it is shaded below, so we're going to shade down here. My y-intercept, I can see right here, is 0, -1. And my slope, remember, menu 6, 5. And I hover over that line, and again, it's 0.6 repeating. And remember, I said that was a special fraction that, or decimal that you have to remember. 0.6 repeating is 2/3, and if you put a whole bunch of 6's in menu 2, 2, it will tell you 2/3. Okay. So here is 0, -1, a solution. That's my y-intercept, and it falls on the dotted line, and dotted lines don't count. So no, because it is on the dotted line. Is 0, 0 a solution? No, it is not in the shaded area. Okay. All right, so now you are going to try, all right, there we go. You're going to try the summary question. And it says, for the inequality y is greater than 3x minus 4, is the y-intercept a solution to the inequality? Why or why not? And so remember up on this one that we just finished, the y-intercept was on a dotted line, so it did not count. But on number 3, which was on the front of your paper, the y-intercept was on a solid line, so it did count. Okay, so I want you to write complete sentences and for your summary question. Before you do that, you need to go graph it.